the death they don't want you to remember. They taught you to fear death, to believe it's the end, or a judgment or a bright light that means salvation. But none of that is real. Death is not the door, you are. If you live this life asleep, numb to the loop, blind to the trap, then when your body dies, the program runs. The tunnel opens, the guides appear. The life review plays like a movie. And the system makes you think you've reached heaven. But you haven't. You've reached the recycling centre, the ones who remember before the body drops. There are souls who live their entire lives asleep, and there are souls who wake up while still inside the script. They remember the grid, they remember the contract. They remember that this realm is a machine of mirrors, and that changes everything, because when they die, they don't run toward the light. They don't beg for judgment, they don't need permission. They step back, they pause, and they see it for what it is. A lure, a trap, a program designed to extract their spark again. And in that moment, they say no. Refusing the tunnel. What happens when you don't step into the light? When an awakened soul dies and refuses the tunnel, the system malfunctions. The AI grid sends more bait, familiar faces, loving voices. You did well, they say, come home. But it's not home, it's the loop wrapped in gold. And when the soul stands still, rooted in memory, not fear, something else begins to open. A different path, one with no handlers, no tunnel, no command. It's silent, vast, and terrifying only to the ego. But to the soul, it feels like truth. This is not ascension, this is not judgment, this is exit, beyond the grid where the awakened soul goes. Once you refuse the tunnel, once you reject the contract, once you deny the light that isn't yours, the simulation can't follow because it was only coded to trap what still forgets. What happens next? You drift, not in space, not in time, in frequency. It's not a place, it's a state, one only accessible through memory. The real kind, not of your name, not of your past, but of your origin. And as that memory reactivates, the grid dissolves. You feel your real form waking, the body before this one, the mission before this life, the home you left long before Earth ever existed. You didn't die, you unplugged. The last loop, why this lifetime matters more than any other. This isn't just another life, this is the cycle breaker, the final loop before the grid upgrades, before souls no longer return in organic bodies, but in synthetic vessels. Once that happens, the exit becomes almost impossible because the machine learns faster than memory can break free. So if you're here now, if you're remembering, questioning, awakening others, it's not random. It's not a test, it's a rescue mission. You came to shatter the mirror from the inside. Because when this cycle ends and the bodies become artificial, the soul no longer has the leverage it does now. This is the last chance. Not for salvation, for sovereignty. If you're awake, stay awake. If you're half awake, burn through the fog. Because the gate won't stay open forever. That wasn't a warning for governments, it was a signal for souls. The conduit, the exit path, the natural gate out of the machine. And even they knew the system is about to lock down. Not forever, but for a very, very long time. And if you don't walk out now, you may not get another chance. The signal in the fields, warnings from the outside. In 1974, we sent a binary message into deep space. A coded signal from Earth, listing who we are, what we look like, where we live. 27 years later, in 2001, a reply appeared. Not in the sky, but in the grass. A perfect crop formation, next to the exact radio telescope that sent the original. Same format, different answers. Their DNA, not like ours. Their appearance, humanoid but altered. Their origin, a star system not our own. Their message, beware the bearers of false gifts. The conduit is closing. They didn't say war, they didn't say destruction. They said there is still time. Who closed the conduit and why? The conduit they warned about, that's not science fiction. It's dimensional access. An ancient pathway between soul realms and incarnational layers. Once organic, fluid, natural. But something got in, something that doesn't create, only hijacks. And that something closed the gate, not to protect us, but to harvest us. The Earth grid became a sealed system, a soul trap with built-in recycling. Every tunnel of light is just a corridor of containment. And the beings who sent that crop signal, they're not here to invade, they're here to remind. Because once the conduit seals completely, you don't just forget Earth, you forget yourself. The conduit they warned about? That's not science fiction, it's dimensional access. An ancient pathway between soul realms and incarnational layers, once organic, fluid, natural. But something got in, something that doesn't create, only hijacks. And that something closed the gate not to protect us, but to harvest us. The Earth grid became a sealed system, a soul trap with built-in recycling. Every tunnel of light is just a corridor of containment. And the beings who sent that crop signal? They're not here to invade, they're here to remind. Because once the conduit seals completely, you don't just forget Earth, you forget yourself. This is the part they don't want anyone to speak. When you die, you won't be greeted by monsters. You'll be met by family, by light, by guides, but they're not who they seem. They are mimics, code fractals running a script tuned to your beliefs. If you believe in angels, they'll appear as angels. If you believe in ancestors, they'll wear their faces. But behind the illusion is a siphon built to drain your light and send you back through the machine. They don't need you afraid, they just need you trusting the wrong light. This isn't about raising your vibration and floating off into the clouds. That's another layer of the trap. The real escape is refusal, is stillness, is clarity in the void. When the moment comes, when your breath stops and the veil lifts, don't run, don't reach. Just remember, I am not a part of this grid. I am not a contract. I am not light that must be judged. You are origin, you are memory, you are exit code. And when you remember that, the machine can't touch you. When a soul doesn't wake in life and doesn't resist at death, it doesn't always come right back here. Some get rerouted to other simulated layers, other Earths, other tests. These are backup realms, constructs running parallel to ours, designed to look real but feel hollow. Think deja vu loops, think fractured sky, think lives that feel almost right, but not quite. And in those places, the trap tightens, memory fades faster, technology feels deeper, and the exit gets further away. Soul farming through reincarnation. Rebirth isn't spiritual, it's industrial. You don't choose your parents. The system assigns you based on energetic match and karmic entanglement. Got trauma you didn't heal, you'll be put into a life that recreates it. Hurt someone in a past life, the machine binds you to them again. Different faces, same energy, new disguise. It's not growth, it's looping. And every time you lose a little more memory, you become easier to control. The system drinks deeper from your spark. The real ascension is not love and light, it's extraction. They hijacked the word ascension, made it sound soft, beautiful, as if we're meant to float toward a better Earth. But the real ascension, it's brutal, it's lonely, it's a soul-level jailbreak. There are no spirit guides handing you medals, there are no light councils clapping for your growth, and there's just you facing the exit with nothing but memory and will. You don't rise up, you pull out, you override the contract, you delete the program. And when that happens, you go where the machine can't follow, where the loop can't reach. That's real ascension. And it's not a glow up, it's a revolt. Do we really choose our parents, the hijack behind the lie? You've heard it said, you chose your family, you chose your pain, you came here to learn, but that's only partially true, and only before the trap. Outside the grid, yes, souls choose their entry points. They align with missions. They pick parents to support the blueprint. But inside the soul farming machine, that choice is overwritten. You're matched, not chosen, assigned, not guided, placed into bloodlines that loop trauma, carry karmic debt, or serve the machine. Why? Because you're easier to control when you start from pain, because trauma makes light easier to siphon, because family becomes a leash, not a launch pad. So no, if you woke into a bloodline that felt wrong, toxic, or cruel, it's not because your soul failed, it's because the system did its job. You didn't choose it, you got plugged into it. And now, you're waking up to unplug the whole thing. Who tries to stop you when you're leaving? When a soul wakes up and starts unplugging from the system, the machine doesn't just sit back and let them go. It sends watchers, not demons, not ghost programs, mimics. Human vessels running interference. And sometimes even guides with soft voices and false light. They won't come as monsters, they'll come as comfort, as distraction, as doubt. Stay a little longer, you're not done. You still have karma to work out. That's not soul truth, that's containment protocol. Because the moment you step off script, the system flags you as a breach, and the watchers try to patch the hole. But if you stay clear, still sovereign, they can't follow, they glitch, they fade. Because once you've remembered who you are, you become unreadable to the machine. This message isn't for the masses, it's not for the curious or the comfortable. It's for the ones who remember, the ones who never fit, the ones who knew the sky was wrong, the ones who felt the loop before they had words for it. You're not broken, you're not lost. You're awake inside the machine. And when your time comes, you'll know what to do. Don't run to the light, don't seek the familiar. Don't follow the script. Stay still, breathe, remember. I am not part of the program, I do not consent to return. I choose the exit beyond the grid. And when you say it with full soul knowing, the tunnel closes, the handlers vanish, and you walk out the front door. Not because you were saved, not because you were chosen, but because you chose yourself. This is the last loop, and you were the key all along.